Catus, Maximus here. Hope everybody's doing okay. This is just a quick video about these magnetic socket inserts. We have a couple different styles here. Generally speaking, the crux of this video is these things are cheap and they are handy. The thin style ones do use neodymium rare earth magnets, but in sockets they do have kind of an issue because the little magnets will tend to want to work themselves out. And there's a high iron content with the neodymium. It isn't pure neodymium. It's actually a powder compressed ceramic with a lot of iron. So the nickel coating not only prevents them from chipping, it resists corrosion. So on a lot of these are cheaper, as we can see here. As soon as a little bit of humidity, moisture from the air gets under the chrome, then it reacts to that raw iron and can rust pretty badly. So the idea is these will turn any socket into one of these, which is a built-in magnetic socket. Ultimately, you're going to be best off with one of these sockets versus using inserts, and they're, because of the nature of them, they can certainly be removed and reinserted. I'll show that in a second here. They're really more for you to choose a set of sockets and you just stuff them down into the bottom. Another difference is like on older style, like these Craftsman's, they're a lot taller, so these end up being just a little bit too big to actually fit in any kind of normal size socket. If I can, they do have a lot of resistance. Let's put it in that one as an example. Here's a better example. So this is the 1/2 inch one, the 1/2 inch socket. They do stay pretty tight, but obviously it's just so thick that you can't even use them in short wells. So these are only in deep wells, and they do still sell arrays of these styles. These also use what are known as Allen-Co magnets. That's one of the reasons they're taller, is because they're just not as strong, but they're much more corrosion resistant. And of course, the hassle with these is if you ever have to remove them, you always have to have some kind of a wrench or a nail or something to poke them out with. All right, actually, let me get these cut apart. I'll show. Here we go. I actually got dissed here. One of the magnets was put in upside down, but they do stack up nicely once you get them apart here. So the deal is you just find the correct size, which is probably that one. Is that the correct size? No, it is not. Now, I had some other few random ones like these, and they weren't quite as good. These are actually sized pretty tight, which is actually nice, because as you can see, what's happening with these is actually kind of crushing the plastic, forming a lip around the magnet. So these are just slightly improved. The plastic's a little bit thicker, although it does want to kind of get sideways in there. I guess the idea is really that you're either going to push them all the way to the bottom of the socket, or you're going to have them a little close to the surface. But as you use them, they're eventually going to get pulled down to the bottom. And this one has definitely gotten a little bit sideways. And that's one of the hard parts about dealing with these thin profile ones. But once you get it set, then they work okay. It will hold a bolt like this on a good day. And this isn't too large of a bolt, so you just don't get a particularly large amount of holding power. This is a harder test just because this bolt has a rolled over lip, and so it's actually separating the surface versus having one that has like a flat face like that. And that's one of the reasons the dedicated sockets are a little bit nicer, is because the magnet actually protrudes from the little fitting that it's pressed in with, so it'll sink into recesses like that. Another issue with these is any kind of washer head bolts. That's going to keep the head of the bolt away from the magnet, and you're not going to get any kind of action at all with that. And of course, the last note would be that, they will attract bits of metal and get cruddy in there, and you'll have to either blow them out or push out the magnet to wipe it. And being out of the soft plastic or the vinyl, it's only going to take so many times of doing that before it just gets totally beat up or the magnet gets broken up trying to push them out, because these are actually pretty tight. I don't even remember what brand. These were just like some no-name brand in the the tool store hardware aisle discount bin. So anyway, that was just a quick little video about these kind of interesting object, or interesting tool accessory, I should say. And generally speaking, even though these things are cheap, I think it was $5 for the pack of both of these. And even though the metric did come with no skips, 10 through 19 millimeter, and you can find them online, I think they're just a bit more gimmicky than they really are useful. Mainly because the magnets just aren't quite strong enough in the way that these are designed, or the way that these are designed. They have just a lot of hindrances versus a socket that's specifically built with that in mind. And ultimately, that's or you're going to want to end up. These aren't something I'm going to explore anymore, but I just wanted to make a quick video about them. And I think just a real properly designed set of these probably would work out okay, but they'd probably be pretty expensive. They need to have pretty large magnets, and they'd probably, it'd be difficult, even more difficult than these already are, to push in and out of the sockets. I think it'd be more of a set that's designed to be essentially not removable, and just to have tall magnets in there, so that, and then you just have to make, have certain sets that are for short wells and other sets that are for deep wells. Anyway, that was just a quick video about these things. I really appreciate everybody who's been watching and subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. Until next time, Catus Maximus out.